Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm reading an article about Chipotle apparently practicing some kind of gender discrimination. That a customer claimed that she got a smaller order because it was a woman's portion. She was in line with a man who had ordered the same thing, and she noticed a considerable difference. And I'd like to see statistics, right? If she would go in there and get the same stuff, weigh in, but I believe her. I don't think it's on the part of Chipotle, though. The article went on to explain that a lot of employees were sweethearting or something like that. Their friends with bigger portions, and their manager would compare how many orders there were and how much food had gone out the door, and if there was any discrepancy, there would be a problem. And obviously, the employees have to be a little cautious about that. And it appears that some of the employees were selectively cautious. I want to think Chipotle would not have in their handbook, oh my God, let's go practice some gender discrimination. Almost certainly not, right? The employee would almost certainly not consciously do this, right? But it's an unconscious decision at each customer, right? Now, aside from gender discrimination, there's also a problem. In the United States, we have to, restaurants now have to publish how many calories are in their food, right? Oh, I can't imagine if the portions were varying wildly that would follow that law, right? But it goes to show how unconscious our brains are wired to be, right? Which is why I really love remote work. I don't know why we have to pressure people to go back to the office where they can judge each other on minor differences, right? Unfortunately, our workplaces have become very judgmental, right? It's very easy to get excluded due to not eating in a certain way. Now, where I find this really bizarre is you go to any local grocery store, even here in the Phoenix area, but especially back in Seattle where I used to live, half the store is organic. Everything is has a big sign on it that says no MSG added, and then you have a social meal, and it doesn't seem to jibe with that. I don't know where all these organic eaters are. I really don't. It's so weird. But then we should live and let live, right? Why do we have to put our nose into what people eat, their sexuality, their gender, and all that? Now, speaking of these food labels, I think it was Obama who mandated restaurants list calories. But you know what? He didn't require restaurants to publish. How about the ingredients, or at least the allergens? See, I think there's an ulterior motive here. The restaurants actually like listing calories because it makes it easier for them to shrink portion sizes. Listing ingredients or allergens doesn't really save them money. In fact, it might cost them money now that they have to use better ingredients, right? So I think the restaurants kind of went along with Obama. Okay, well, if we all have to list calories, that's great. We could all shrink portions, right? Obviously, if you're the first restaurant to have to list calories, right, it could hurt you. But if everybody has to do it, everybody benefits, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show.